another week, another AusForge tournament. This one is constructed. Dual Mantis, Rix Apocalypse set up again. I can actually get it silvered this week. I'm gonna maybe see if I can do something a bit in post-production and go through some like analysis of my games and slow down, stuff like that. But we will see how we go. Look again. You haven't seen it for like 3 weeks in a row, or something. But yeah, Steel Rosetta is my active. Spire, Tinker, Enhance is quite a strong option. It's Bright Gargoyle, Drix, and Apocalypse are key pieces for this deck. I need to play when I can, hopefully at opportune times. Bright Gargoyle is just something I play if I have to. Palladium Hintermind is good for some kind of shenanigans sometimes, but it's very dependent on what the board state looks like at the time. Cycling Mantis is very nice if I can replace something. Can get very strong at level 3. Voltaic Prophet is a nice big body that can get me some early. If it's a good opportunity, the armor potential to turn as well, it can be quite nice. In another B, but if it can replace something, give it attack as well. I don't really need to worry about leveling this too early because even a 6-10 later in the game is okay. Once I've got my board state set up a little bit, that's the dream at least. Arrogant Rex and Camouflage Basher are just I attack bodies to block if needed. They're not necessarily, they're the only dinosaurs, so the Camouflage Basher is the only thing that can take advantage of the Arrogant Rex. So it's not necessarily a combination I'm looking to play, but if it comes up, it comes up. Krogius, if the game goes long enough, level 3 Krogius can be brought out with my Mantises and the Enhance ability here, which is always a nice late game play if needed. Otherwise, I just ignore that when I see it. My Combat Mantis here is just another activation. Watchborn abilities, Refreshing Bartok is always a nice thing to get as well, even if I don't health from missing. Next creature +2/+2, +8/8 is nice. Sated Hunter can make some trades work in my favor. I can get rid of some creatures and stuff like that. Earlier than my anticipates, stuff like that. Shifting Druid, I think, depending on what my opponent's deck is, getting Shifting Druid to level 2 can be quite a priority as well. That Oak Father minion can be quite useful, as well as a nice body. And Shroud Thorn Splicer is something I play if I get the opportunity, but if I don't worry. Energy Prison, situational at best, same with Force Field. Warmonger Mod, if I get the opportunity, I will play that. If I don't, then I kind of have to ignore it so I can get it upgraded through like an something later. Forge Seal, again, if I've got the board state, then this could be a good play, but it's just a late off when my state is looking better. And Lycian Rain, once again, situational, can be useful. Yeah, so that's kind of a deck that I've been using for 4 weeks. So what am I in trying to level stuff? The Apocalypse and Drix, the Mantises are all pretty important to level. Refreshing Bartok is nice. But yeah, so that's I'll be going to see if I can do some more like slower turn by turn post game analysis kind of replays. But yeah, we'll see how we go. See you guys for the games.
Your AusForge stuff during this month.
Yes, it is. Welcome.
I got a couple, I think, in July, but yeah, this month's just been kind of rough on trying to get times lined up.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's I haven't played in a single American one this month, so I definitely understand.
Yeah, and with Sealed being kind of like gone right now, it's been, I
Yeah.
feel like, a little slower on that front.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, what are you playing? Dark Forge Drain. I see.
Big ol' life gainy deck.
All right.
Cycling
Interesting.
Mantis. Double
I
Mantis.
mean, you've got the removal, which is what I can struggle against. So I don't think you're necessarily in a bad spot against me. But
Yeah, I've not seen this deck of yours, I don't think, so I'm curious to see what happens. Well, I think I just gotta do that.
yeah, see, that's what I was kind of worried about.
Had a different game plan in mind, but leveling a Dreadbolt's never bad.
No, especially when my deck relies on a few key pieces. Like a waste, but yeah, that's pretty cool that it's a self buffer.
Yeah, this green half is kind of nuts.
And your Swamp Moss comes out, and thank God. You'll get it next time, I'm sure.
You let's see here. I played this on an Onks thing on Wednesday and just had an abysmal round 3. I was 2-1 at the end of the night.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just had like the worst starting hand of all time. Just put me super behind, weirdly enough.
Doesn't seem to be as big of a problem for you at the moment.
No. There's Drix.
Yeah. Kind of needed to see that. It's a shambling neck. Scary.
Oh, recycling Mantis, yeah. I too will ferocious roar.
Yep, fair enough.
Trying to figure out how I want to do this.
Mm,
You have plenty of options.
a great option. Understandable. Yeah, fair.
I feel like it's kind of a waste when he's at 1 health, but I also know what he can do.
Lucky on my draws here. That's for sure.
Yeah, if this deck gets like any life gain in the first hand, and as long as I don't just like see, as long as my free spells aren't just bottom 5, it usually gets going pretty quick. Didn't see the Shambler last cycle though.
I don't think it's necessarily going to matter at this point. Yeah.
I've top decked that Dreadbolt every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case, we'll just throw them down.
And you get a Dark Forge Drain as well. Yeah, no, getting rid of the Apocalypse like that kind of hurts. um, yeah, now I
Like a
don't
big
think
boy.
it's necessarily anything that I could even do.
He's going for the gold.
Um,
Boo.
I mean, I'm assuming you have some kind of removal here.
You know, you'd think. Up to 2. Well, guess I can at least do this just for the triggers.
Yeah. I don't think you have much to worry about at this point.
No. Good job keeping my swamp moss from doing anything.
Yeah, thank God.
Let's see. Didn't even bother playing Darkheart Sorcerer this game. Oh God, where'd he come from? Believe that's GG, friend.
GG.
I failed twice.
I was making a comeback there.
You're like, you've got nothing to worry about. I'm like, do I though?
Obviously not. Nah. Nah, that removal coming out for you, perfect timing.
Yeah, that was
Stops
lucky
me
draws on my part.
getting any value from my Apocalypse.
You got 1 or 2 triggers. Don't sell yourself so short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only gotten to play this like in 2 tournaments, so I'm just like, well, today being the second time, I'm like, all right, let's get this some renown so I can actually like shelve it for other stuff.
And that's what I'm trying to do with this deck as well, but I keep losing, so.
Yeah, like it's funny that they're talking about like Rumble Spark because I've had a Rumble Spark deck that's 1 point away from silver because like every game 3 I just have like the worst draws. Like either don't see the Nova until like cycle like 3 or I don't get like anything that flips it. But I also
Yeah.
have like my Rumble Spark deck has 2 spells in it. And my Darkheart decks have like 3, so it's like 5 out of my 20 cards are spells, so it's like tough for my Darkheart to flip it over.
Yeah.
Actually the purple half that you saw here is the one I usually pair with it, and so it's like it's got some options, but like Grave Pact isn't super great in a Rumble Spark deck. I mean, you can kind of do some stuff depending on how you're like if Darkheart's out, I could always like sack the embodiment
Yeah, I get you.
Grave Pack and then just flip it back, but it's just like there's so much reliance on even just seeing the Nova to start with that I've had plenty of games where everyone's like, oh man, that deck's so good. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. RNG beats it every time.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you hadn't drawn that, like if you hadn't had Dreadbolt firsthand, could have been a completely
Yeah.
different game. But
Yeah, I was staring at because I had Darkheart Sorcerer and the Summoner in my first hand, and I was like, okay, I'll play the Soothing Ravager first, and then I can play, like, I can just kill something, I guess, and then get like a free spell or like the Zerath's Will was in hand, so I was like, all right, I'll still play that.
yeah,
And then the thing came out, I was like, all right, I know when to kill Apocrymancer, so
yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
get rid of
exactly.
it now, and that kind of, yeah, like I said, I had some life gain to start with, not like the craziest of like, it's just the Soothing Ravager, but it's just enough for me to be able to play the Swamp Moss on turn 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've had games where it's like turn 1, it was, I think one of my cycle 2 hands, like there was no life gain stuff in there. It was just kind of like a basic, like, all right, I can kind of, my board's in a good spot. I can play a spell or two and like, make it a zombie, but I was in a good spot where I was like, this hand's okay right now, but like if that was my turn 1 hand, like this would have been a whole other ball game.
Yeah, exactly. No, if even I think even if even with those starting hands that we had, if I had gone second, it could have been a completely different game as well. But
Yeah, like I still could have killed the Apocrymancer.
If I'd gone
second, but
second, I would have played the Apocalypse last. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
like either
exactly.
if you played it first because you're like banking on something else coming out, like I could still kill it, but also it's a Pokemonster and you like play him second and just keep him alive for the
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
That's what this game's about, right? Like, there's just that variance that can change the game up
Yeah,
so much.
it's like I've started to not feel so bad bringing like Rumble Spark to a tournament, even if it's like bronze, because like I don't think mine is like I think my red half is pretty solid in its own right, but it's not like a typical throw like almost any dark heart sorcerer list with a dreadbolt in it and it like does the thing just because
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
few spells. But even then it's like um RNG is just like part of the game, and so it's just like I don't necessarily feel bad because like I've had tons of bad draws with it in tournaments where I've even gone like 1 and 2 with it. Like
Yeah,
my first opponent's just like, oh my god, what happened? It's like I just didn't see the thing, and so it's like it's one of those like I go back and forth because like it's such a like the RNG aspect of the game is so like cool in a way because you basically can't just like net deck and like, oh, you have Rumble Spark, okay, you're just gonna win every game. Like that's just not how the game works, even
yeah.
if you have like a busted deck. Like even this green half, like Scuba Toad's website has it, I think the second best green deck based on his like algorithm. But
Yeah,
I've lost games with it just because like my opening hand or two were just awful.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's like
exactly.
it's
Like,
cool that it's like this deck is super synergistic, so like this one's not as great of an example because like as long as I can kind of do a little bit of something I can start to run away with it,
yeah,
but even then it's like a bad hand's a bad hand, and that's just like I've had games where I never see like the spring dried. I'm like, all right, well that whole little like package isn't really going to do anything. um and so it's like, obviously you're just trying to find a half that like solves the RNG aspect, but still just like the bottom five's the bottom five.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like
exactly.
frustrating in a competitive mindset. He's like, man, the deck is supposed to do this thing, and then like you just never see the thing. But then also it's like, well, they're all like the opponent's also kind of dealing with that too.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was
why
talking
I
to
feel like best
uh
of three formats are really good for that in that aspect because it allows for
yeah,
those games where you or your opponent just draws absolutely horribly, right?
I was just gonna say I was talking to Goblin Credible last week. I played him in one of the later rounds and we got done pretty quick or whatever. And he was like, "What do you feel about like best of one versus best of three?" And he was even asking about like how do you feel about like the deck list being shown? I was like, well, because like you don't get to like in best of one you don't get to sideboard, so it's like it is kind of nice to know how to play around it because like either way there is no sideboarding, so it's like what you bring is what you bring.
Yeah,
You might just have if you're just at a downhill like matchup or an uphill matchup because like oh they're playing like a go wide or something and you're like very much like aggro or whatever, so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's just a bad matchup. It's like nothing like knowing their deck list can kind of help you know, okay, don't, blow this guy on the first action because they might be able to counter it. But it's one of those like it almost just kind of comes out in the wash. It just kind of it's a little in best of one. It prevents the feels bad of just not knowing anything and
yeah,
like being
yeah,
blindsided by
exactly.
something. But it's also like RNG factors into it, so it's like oh they have the Dreadbolt in their deck, but if they never draw, it's like a non-issue. So it's like on one hand there's the comfort of seeing the deck list. On the other hand, like the game's going to let us draw what we get to draw. So we have really no control over some of those aspects. But then we were talking like best of three, and it's like, best of three, if you wanted to hide the deck list, we'd basically know the deck after one game just because we get to see what happens. But
Yeah,
at least also with best of three, like, if you had rough draws, it's not that big of a deal. But I've never played a best of three in this. And I know like some rounds of best of one can already take close to the full 50 minutes. So I'm like, I know, like, I think some of you guys have done best of three. Like, is it like a whole day affair trying to do that? Or is it like, maybe three,
I
four
mean, the
hours
only
tops?
best of three tournament I played in was like one of the monthly ones where you only play one best of three a week,
Oh,
um,
okay.
which like works perfectly fine because that's just like yeah, similar amount of
Yeah.
time, right? But I mean, the um the digital client, like yeah, I don't think it would take necessarily too long. Like you could quite easily get two games done in 40 minutes because our game
Yeah.
took less than 20 minutes just then. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen play. It's like I think fresh because there's still 2 games going on, so it's like I know depending on the type of decks being played
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
matchup,
It's
it
very
can either go all the way to 50 in one game, or it could be like up 10 minutes. You know, RSE did the
Yeah.
Rumble Spark thing with no countering. And so I've seen both sides of it. I'm just like, even with the same deck, I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, because I think Godwin's doing a thing on Sunday, and it is a best of 3. And so I was like, I have stuff going on. I was like really hoping to be able to play in it because they're doing like actual cash prize and stuff. But I was also like, damn, this is gonna be a commitment for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for the match anyway. I'm gonna jump back up to
Yeah.
the voice chat hangout and yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Good luck
games.
with the rest of your games.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Looking forward to this one. I know how this is gonna go.
No, you don't. No idea. It's so random. Like sometimes it just does really well, and then sometimes I just don't draw anything I need, and I lose to Tony. Like his deck was really good though, so can't complain.
Yeah, I was testing against Tony, and his deck is stupid. Alrighty. Well, let's just play it.
Health.
That's it. That's the one trick I have.
Look and see. The which is annoying for me. I'm gonna do that.
Alright, well, I will do a very similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Harder to remove when it's a level 2. Got any hard remove. Okay. in your own Drix.
Oh man, I just lost to an Apocamancer. I don't want to see him again.
Oh. Hopefully playing that makes it a struggle for you to use your Ice Storm. Definitely would have been an issue. sense.
I guess it's probably not worth the extra little bit of Thunder Crash damage when I could just...
Extra lane.
Yeah. I wanted to replace both gizmos and get 2 triggers, but I'm at 3, so
Yeah, it's quite hard
let's
to
not do that.
think that's a good game. But definitely keeping your board presence quite well near the end there, though.
Yeah, I have a lot of creatures that spawn other creatures.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I feel like I started quite strong compared to what you started with, but you were definitely catching up near the end.
Yeah. Except for life total.
Well, yeah, but
Too far
like,
behind.
well, thanks for the game, Carly.
Yeah, I hope that you silver this deck
Yeah,
so that it goes away.
fingers crossed. I wanna get a deck to silver as well. So, um, but yeah, best of luck for your last round.
Cool, yeah, thank you. You too.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Jed, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I got smashed in my first round, but I just David had such a good start and I just had such a bad start. I just could not recover. I actually needed the only way I would have recovered in that match was if I had drawn Krogius like right away in cycle 3 and I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that was really the only way I make it back, and which is weird. I'm
My
not used
round
to
one was pretty
saying that,
similar.
but
So
yeah, yeah. Sometimes that's just what I find in this game. Like if one person gets a really good start and has like a couple of maybe two hands in a row that are really nice, and you kind of draw a bad hand maybe once or twice in a row, that can be the game. I mean,
yeah,
that can be the
it really can.
everything. Yep. I mean, that's kind of why. I mean, I used to hate Krogius. I used to hate playing against it, but I realize in these like high level, when you're playing other really strong decks, it's like sometimes you need it. It's like the only uppercut you can hit back with to have a chance sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah, my deck's also got a Krogius in it, so
Yeah.
not Army Commander 4, but
Right.
um, still Rosetta Enhance 4 can be almost as good.
Yes. Yeah, super good. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
You have the Tinker Enhance. Oof. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're doing here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wanted to be able to, which do I upgrade here? I think I have to upgrade this. Though I wish it killed your dude.
It is a bit
Probably
like
should
that
have waited.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's probably a mistake. Like I think the armor wouldn't have done a whole lot. I think, I needed to. Yeah, who knows?
Can be very tough to know.
Yeah. Voltaic Prophet is an underrated card.
Oh yeah, not 6/5
happy
with the potential for that armor every turn is actually quite insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy I had my Botanimate that turn because that guy gets crazy. He's very difficult to get off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, still getting a nice board though. Oh boy. Okay. This is an Rick's Apocymancer. I see what's going on. That is terrifying right now. What do I have in my... I don't know that I have anything that's going to really help me that much here. Well, yeah, I have to try. I have to hope that I get the right thing here. Please be tormenting. Oh, thank God.
Nice.
It was one of two options. I had that, or there was another thing. There was only 2 creatures that were level 1 in my discard, so I'm like, please be the tormenting guy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
Level 1 does 3, right? Yeah, 3. Okay. Whew. So you could still... My glow hive's a 4. Okay. That's got armor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 2 there. 2 there. Mm. Hmm. It's one of those really strange sort of hands. I think I have to just kill the Drix, unfortunately. I was hoping you'd kill something so that I could Scourge Hydra the Apocymancer, but you played that well.
Lucky me.
Uh, Ooh, recycling. So, oh yeah, this is your double mantis, right?
Yeah,
Betrayer mantis. Nice. Ugh. Yeah, that is sick.
I don't know, maybe that would have been better
is
to play that into another lane, but I think having the potential other body on the next turn might have been better.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a lot of good options here. Cause what I have my Mantis, but it's a what is it? A 4/4. It's a 4 drain. So that only takes you down to 6, and then it's really not good in either situation. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what the answer is. I just have to hope that my life gain is gonna hold on. I think here, because I'm kind of in rough shape here.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Uh, that. Man. This is just another bad hand. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is just what can I do? There's not much I can do.
That's a tough one.
It is. Not even sure. How do I play this hand? Even know. I think I'm kind of screwed. Just have to hope, you know, it's not gonna get good. Yeah, especially I was gonna say if you get. Oh, okay, you don't have your. I was gonna say if you have your rallying guy. Oh, it's recycling. Okay, I was gonna say recycling, or I thought it was a rallying.
Rallying, I wish it was rallying. That would be a little bit even better, but I mean, like, this is still very tough to deal with if it comes out at opportune times like it is at the moment.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's coming out at a very nice time. Indeed. That's 28. I mean, I just have to hope for the best here.
Yeah.
It's gonna get real close here.
Yeah, Krogi's coming out here is real nasty. Um, Imagine having to replace my Pokemon.
I know. That's rough. I mean, you still get, yeah. Still get a lot of armor on the dudes. Just gotta be able to take 2 hits, I guess, from Krogi.
Yeah, that is the question.
Right. Ooh, bigger Krogi.
I hope it's
Ah,
enough.
I like it. I like it. Four, 2, 3. The math is not adding up. I forgot to even look at your deck. I didn't realize you had your own Krogi in there. I knew you had the enhance. So, huh. The Ice Storm is under leveled. It's supposed to be at an 8. See, if I had an 8 damage, I could hit Krogius
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
with
yeah.
8. Well, actually, it wouldn't actually work. It wouldn't work on Krogius. So, I think
I mean,
just
if
have
you had it leveled up,
to
you could take out
level.
the Mantis at the very least. and push through
Right.
damage with
Yeah,
the...
I'd take the right. I'd take out the 2. Well, I'd push 14. Because right now 4 doesn't kill it. Nothing. I can't kill anything in the front. So.
Yeah.
And you haven't killed any of my guys. I get Scourge Hydra, but with nothing to kill, nothing killed. I mean, I think you're gonna win this. I do have the Dryad, but I don't know that. Don't know that it's gonna matter. Let's see, because you're gonna have. I mean, I don't know. I just have to hope I'm gaining enough life, I guess. Know that it's gonna matter because I don't think there's anything that's gonna push enough damage through. Well, yeah, and then you get like 5 bodies on the board at one time.
Yeah.
Nice. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just dead here. I was not able to knock the front creature off. I needed to be able to knock that front creature off in the last turn
Yeah.
and push the 14. I just didn't have it. And that could be the one issue with this deck is like it doesn't have a ton of removal. It relies on other people removing my cards.
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
Scourge Hydra. Yeah, good game.
Good game. That was freaking close. If I didn't get my
game, that was
Krogus
close.
exactly the turn I did, goddamn.
Yeah, you had it exactly at the right time, and I had exactly none of my removal at the right time.
Yeah.
Or, well, I had
That's-
the Ice Storm, but it was underleveled. Which I had chosen. Now, I'm trying to think if I did have Army Commander, I could have leveled. I chose to level.
I think you...
Well, I think
brought
that I still
Krogius
did
back,
that
right?
the right way because I leveled Lyria. I leveled Lyria to level 3. I played that, and then I was able to pull Krogius out
yeah.
with Lyria. So I still think I did it the right way. It just, sometimes it just works out that way. Well, good game, Jed.
No, great game.
I wonder if so. Are you gonna get to the second place now?
I don't
Let's
know.
see,
I
can
mean,
we
it's
s- I think
gonna be win percent.
it's gonna come down to like who, right? And I think are all the pairings done now? No.
No.
Couple more games left. I know Paul and Tony were both undefeated, so I guess whoever wins out of there will be a 1 loss. I don't know, because my win percentage is not going to be good. So I don't know who else you beat, because I'm 1 and 2. I thought
yeah.
I had a good deck, and I went 1 and 2.
Look, it's just sometimes the cards are like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it depends because my other win was against Carly, who is 0-0 at the moment.
Yeah.
So it depends how that goes.
I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for you to jump into a second.
But also, if Tony wins,
yeah.
If Tony wins, then he won against everyone. He's one I lost against in first round, so yeah, there's a chance, but that's all good. If it's not, that just means I get to bring this to another bronze tournament in the future.
Get to terrorize people with that more, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know how. So you must have just your cards must have just not lined up very well in the first. I can't believe you lost the first. You lost to Tony.
Yeah,
I know Tony's got like an insane amount of life gain, and then he can get the freeze Will and Swamp Moss going, which can put a lot of
that's
early
pretty much
pressure.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He had his Dreadbolt in the first hand, and like the only creature I could really play was my Apocalypse, and he just Dreadbolted that straight up. So And then every time I played my
Yeah.
Apocalypse, he dreadbolted it, so it kind of neutered my any value my
Yeah.
deck was going to generate.
Yeah.
I still almost brought it back though. But...
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, you have the ways to bring it back. You have a nice counter punch in there with Krogius and Enhance and two Mantas. I mean, you have like ridiculous cards in there. It's very good.
It's been performing very well for me. That's definitely true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I do manage to make it to Gen Con next year, then it would probably be one of the decks that I would like. It would probably be the deck I'd bring unless I find something better before then.
Ooh, yeah. You definitely need to make the trip. Have you ever gone?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've been to America a couple of times, but not for Gen Con. Or
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I understand it's a long trip, but I figured if you've made it, yeah, like, well, there's people that go to Gen Con. It's not like anything you can ever imagine, really.
Yeah. I've been to PAX
it's
East a couple of times, but yeah, Gen Con sounds like it'd be
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
I think, like, what did they say? 90,000+ every day of the convention
Jeez, wow.
in attendance. So, like, this convention center is literally like, I don't know how many blocks, four square city blocks or something like that, and they just totally packed this whole convention center.
Crazy.
And they also use the Colts Stadium next to it, which is the Indianapolis football team, NFL team. They fill the Colts Stadium and they put all these gaming tables out on the field. So you're literally playing in a football stadium. Which that's where the SoulForge tournaments was out in the stadium. And I actually liked it a lot because I get a little claustrophobic. I get a little bit when there's like too many people just packed in everywhere. I get like, I don't know. I just like
Large
the air
crowds are
gets a
never
little
fun.
bit stale. Yeah. It's just the convention center was almost like too much, too large. You're just walking like in a herd of people.
Yeah, it's
as you're like
never
going from
fun.
one place to another. Yeah. And at least in the stadium, it was like, fresh air is just a big wide open space and never seemed to be like nearly as crowded over there. And they had like the concession stands open so you could like go up and order food and drinks, and just like I just enjoyed the atmosphere over there a lot better than in the convention center. But yeah, just it was almost like overwhelming, just so many people in such a small space.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
Definitely would be cool
you
to
should
go to.
definitely, if you can, if you can afford the trip, you got to try to do it at least once in your life. I'd say it's just a like bucket list thing. Like if you've never done it,
exactly.
Like, if you're a gamer,
I want to play. I want to play in a SoulForge Worlds. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, it was incredible. I don't know, some of the, maybe some of the American players that have gotten out of the game are kind of like bashing it. Oh, people are playing in all these stupid decks and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I think they're just jealous because they know they're probably going to lose and they're just trying to, I don't know what the point of it is, right? To try to like bash the game.
To play your best decks, right? So
yeah. And I just had fun. Like I took an Ironbeard and a set 1 Ironbeard, and I was like, you know what? This is the first time I've been. I'm just gonna see what happens. And I knew like it has some cards in it that do very well against purple, in general.
Yeah.
Because it has like the Sonic Burst, the suppressing, stabilizing.
And all very nice.
And then I pair it with a Mantis. Yeah, I pair it with a Mantis that does, so the Ironbeard has Intimidate at level 3, so it turns something to a 0 attack, and then a knockback at level 4, so it drops 2 creatures 10 attack. And I'm usually doing I'm playing my Mantis to where ideally I'm doing those things early.
Yeah.
And then I also have an Electronet. So Electronet the 4 cards that I was looking for was Electronet, Suppressing, Stabilizing, and Sonic Burst.
That's a great combination.
Yeah, and it was like the only deck I could find. I have like a couple hundred blue decks, and it was the one and only I could find that had those 4 cards. So
Yeah.
it must not be very common
I
that you
think-
get that combination, but
I'm not sure. I've got one that's close to that. It's got a Tinker, a Suppressing Inventor, and like an Electronet and a Sonic Burst or something like that. So having that Tinker in there is really nice as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I even have a deck that has a Suppressing Tinker, which is like
Oh wow.
super nice.
Yeah, no, that would be nice.
But I don't think it has anything. It doesn't have any of the other things. But like, it's just like, oh, this card is sweet.
Yeah, if I know I'm playing someone that's playing super heavy minions, I've got a double Tormenting Necrean
Yeah.
deck as well, which I pair that with, and it's my
Oh, nice.
absolute minion hate deck.
Yep, that's very nice. Yep. No, I remember Weekend. I used to play when he was playing. Like he had I know he had a purple deck that was triple Tormenting.
Oh god.
And I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, because I was playing him with my deck that wants to Forge Drain an Oak Father, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I can get this off with your deck.
Yeah. Oh
You're
god.
just gonna kill it at any time, right? It's like you have 3 cards that can just instantly kill my Oak Father.
Yeah.
Man, well, nice
Thanks for the
talking with you,
game.
Jed.
Yeah.
I'll meet you back in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
thanks
you
for the
there.
game. Very good. Close game. Yeah. Yeah, good game, man. Talk to you later.